Hey everyone, we are talking about Intime Extime by Pierre Guillaume, aka Parfumerie Generale. The notes in this are white tea, iris powder, incense, vanilla, and Itauba wood. That's interesting about the last one because I've never once seen that in any other fragrance. I don't even think it's listed on Fragrantica as a note. So I can't say what that's exactly supposed to smell like, but according to the description, it's exotic wood nuances. So I thought that I was not going to like this going into it. I love the idea of the incense and vanilla that are in it. I don't like the idea of the iris powder, kind of above all. And especially when mixed with some of those other things, I thought that it might end up being the kind of thing that was just a total powder bomb and really old school and stuffy, but happy to say that it is not at all. To me, the thing that came to mind picturing this, and this isn't a real situation that I've been in, but it's what comes to mind, walking into a hair salon right after someone who was wearing Chanel Le Lion left, maybe 30 seconds before. Because it's nowhere near like the harshness of something like Chanel Le Lion, but it does have that kind of slightly smoky, slightly powdery, sort of almost labdanum-y feel to it, but this has a lot more sweetness on top, and I don't know what it is about sort of the hair salon vibe that's giving me. Maybe sort of some of the General powder and just kind of fresh sprays in the air or something like that, because it's very fresh and clean, and this is the kind of soapy that I like, where it's not soapy as in, again, it's not old school soapy. I think that's sometimes when people use soapy, they can mean that in more of like an old school or like really expensive bar of soap way that just feels kind of uptight and stuffy. To me, this is soapy in terms of like just clean and fresh, yet powdery and smoky at the same time. Really gently done. The white tea in here is really nice. It does smell like that, and it's, I think sometimes people think of tea notes and they don't really think about as much, black tea, white tea, and green tea, for example, smell so different from each other, and white tea is so gentle and a lot more delicate. So this is probably the best iris powdery scent that I've ever smelled for my taste. Take that with a grain of salt because I don't like powdery notes. I don't like iris in general. So that might not be a big claim for some. But to me, this is really well done. I think, if you just smelled it on a test strip, it leans a little bit feminine, but in practice, very unisex. If you were wearing this out and about, yeah, I don't think that it would just smell fresh and clean. Like, I don't think that it would smell anything overly feminine if you're a more masculine presenting person. The vanilla is so well done here too, because it's not the, sugar bomb kind, and it's also not the like super dry, overly mature kind. So I think this is really versatile too. Like, people of all different kinds of ages could wear this. I think it could come off mature if you want it to, and it could also kind of come off in youthful and fresh if that's sort of the vibe that you're projecting as well. So if you're sort of picky about powdery fragrances and you are still open to finding one that you think might work for you, I would check out a sample of this. If you really like powdery fragrances and iris, and you also like that kind of labdanum-y sort of smokiness in the background, check out a sample. The main people that I would say to absolutely not check out a sample, one, if you're looking for something just completely super masculine leaning, that's not going to be this. Two, if you can't even tolerate the smallest hint of powder at all, again, not going to work for this. But as far as powdery scents go, very palatable, just fresh, clean, and mass appealing, I think. And it's not something that I would consider full bottle worthy for myself just because I'm so picky about what I'd wear, but I absolutely like it. And if I smelled it on someone else, I would think like, oh wow, you smell so good, what is that? So I'd recommend getting a sample. I will put the link in the description where you can buy a bottle or a sample. This goes for $125 for a 50 ml. That's pretty pricey, but I don't think it's overpriced, especially because you can make a 50 ml of this last a really long time. This isn't something, it's very versatile in terms of who could wear it, but it's not something that you just wear 24/7. So I think that all things considered, the price isn't too unfair, and you can get a sample for $4. So I think that's definitely worth it, and check it out.